All right, let's make sure we're good on Venn diagrams. Let me give you an example of a Venn diagram. You guys have seen these before, right? It looks kind of like the Visa logo. So these look familiar? And these will have like categories of things, but could be overlapping categories. So let me give you an example. Let's say that this circle here represents students in this room who are freshmen. And let's say that this circle over here represents students in this room who have, was today a gold day or a blue day? Gold day. Let's say this is students who have second lunch on gold days. All right, I want you to keep in mind with a Venn diagram like this, there are actually 4 different places that you can fall. You could be in this one if you're just a freshman, but you don't have second lunch on gold day. If you're a freshman and you have second lunch on gold day, you're in here. If you are not a freshman, but you do have second lunch on gold day, you're out here. And then where do the folks go who are not freshmen and they don't have second lunch on gold? They're just going to go out here someplace, right? So outside of the circle is a viable region. Keep that in mind. So sometimes people forget that it's okay to have stuff outside of the 2 circles. So out of curiosity, how many of you belong in this region here? How many, raise your hand if you're a freshman and you have you're a freshman, but you do not have second lunch on gold day. All right, that's about half of us. How many of you belong in here? You're a freshman and you do have second lunch on gold day. Couple? How about folks that are out here? You're not a freshman, but you do have second lunch on gold day. Fantastic, got a few. Anybody out here? You're not a freshman, but you do have second lunch on gold day. So we understand how Venn diagrams work. All right, we're going to practice with one that I find interesting. Do you guys know where the word alphabet comes from? It comes from the Greek alphabet, and it's the first 2 letters of the Greek alphabet, which are alpha and beta. There are a lot more than 3 alphabets used around the world, but these are 3 that are used throughout much of the world. The Latin alphabet is the one that we use. Do you guys know it was called that? We use the Latin alphabet. And a lot of languages that are based off of Latin, the Romance languages use this Latin alphabet. There's also the Greek alphabet and the Cyrillic alphabet, and there's, like I said, there's hundreds more across the world. But these ones are interesting because they kind of developed near each other, and so they have some things in common and some things that are not. So I'm not going to give you like 20 minutes to do this, but let's take 5 minutes and see if we can get these letters into the right places in here. So I'll get you started. Can someone come up with some letters that belong in this region here? This would be letters that belong in the Latin and Greek and Cyrillic alphabets. That capital A shape. We call it an A. In Greek, they call it alpha. Does anybody know what that's called in Cyrillic? Cyrillic would be used in like Russian, Ukrainian. The M, the capital M. Now, when I do these, I like to underline the ones that I've used because it helps me figure out what I still need to find. The capital M belongs in there too. All right, you guys get the idea? So see if you can fill out as much of that as you can. And we'll come back together in about 5 minutes. Carry on. All right, so do we have a good understanding of what a Venn diagram is? If you can do this, then you're going to have no trouble doing what we're going to do today. So today we are going to be looking at some specific Venn diagrams. They're only going to have 2 circles, and we're going to be sorting shapes into those Venn diagrams. So I don't want you to do this right now. Just pay attention while I give you the instructions, and I'll tell you, we'll do a 1, 2, 3, go, and I'll have you guys get started. So what I would like when I say 1, 2, 3, go is I would love for you to be in pairs, if at all possible. If you absolutely insist on working by yourself today, that's okay. But no groups bigger than 2. One person in your group, I would like to have your laptop open. And I would like you to go to the Canvas page. On today's Canvas page, you're going to see some links for, not right now. Hang on. Pause. Don't miss the instructions. You're going to go to the Canvas page. You're going to see links for Venn diagram 1, Venn diagram 2, Venn diagram 3. click those links, and you're going to have a bunch of shapes and a couple of Venn diagrams with some descriptions. Each of the shapes has a little dot, and you're going to click and drag that dot into the appropriate place in the Venn diagram. Now keep in mind, outside of both circles is a possibility. Sometimes people think everything has to be inside of the two circles. Stuff's allowed to stay outside if it doesn't fit into either of the circles. There is one shape that the dot is glitched and you can't move it, so just think about where it would go. Leave those tabs open because I'm going to come around and check in with you, and I'm going to ask to see the ones that you've finished. When you have finished all three of the Venn diagrams, leave the tabs open so that I can still check on your work, and then go ahead and begin on the next assignment, which is assignment 1.3.1 on your back of your packet. Okay, so one laptop per person. You don't need to write anything down. Just go ahead and drag the shapes around, practice getting them where they're supposed to be. Ask questions today, guys. Does anybody have any questions for the greater good? All right, 1, 2, 3, go.